can lead us.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stowe. Next on the agenda is item 6.1, which is the adoption of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda is adopted. We have a couple of items to report under closed session. The first item, I will go ahead and read out, is 2.1, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2, subdivision D of Government Code 54956.9, one anticipated case. In closed session, the Board of Education rejected the tort claim submitted on behalf of SNM by a unanimous vote. The board took another action related to public employee discipline in closed session. The board voted to ratify and approve prior board direction that rescinded the dismissal of a certificated employee. On July 8th, 2024, the board directed staff to rescind dismissal charges against employee number MN 5256719, and staff carried out that direction. Employee was notified at the time of the rescission. Nevertheless, to make the record as clear as possible, the board tonight voted to ratify and approve its prior direction to rescind employee dismissal. The vote was 4-0 with Trustee Ziegelbaum abstaining. Okay, moving on to item 8, staff presentation information. 8.1, superintendent's report. Dr. Stowe.
Thank you, President Mohammed, members of the board. Just a short presentation tonight, a few updates on what's going on this summer and as the year wrapped up. First, and I know I've mentioned this before, but our Future Entrepreneurs Internship, which is 26 rising seniors, well, 25 rising seniors, 1 rising junior, are participating in 4 weeks of programming where they're learning about starting a business and having the opportunity to visit various businesses in the community. So first week was American Honda. Second week was actually here in Torrance Unified, talked about our organization and that we are a very large business in the community. And last week they were at Robinson Helicopter. They didn't get any helicopter flights, but they got a tour of the factory and then this week they're at the Blue Stem Hotel over on Sepulveda. And so each week they have an opportunity to meet with mentors from that business that talk about what they're doing and work them through a design challenge. And then the students have about 45 minutes to come up with a business pitch for the product that is helping solve their problem, solve the problem that the business is facing. So it's a great experience, but it culminates this Thursday with students giving their business plan pitch to a team of folks. One in particular is the gentleman who gave us the seed money for this, and Steve Fechner. And then our Charles Lee is going to be another judge of the business plan, as well as Mayor Pat Fury. So that's going to be our panel of folks that are going to basically choose the winning group. These students will continue to work through the year, and then next May join the business plan pitch competition for a number of other schools in the South Bay at Cal State Dominguez Hills. So they're not done this week. They'll continue to work throughout the year, but it's been a great program, and couldn't be more pleased with the first initial year of this. Our own Kara Kim was highlighted by local media about the boutique that she has opened at Torrance High School for students that are in need of clothing. Similar spaces exist at North and West. but Kara was in particularly highlighted, and she calls her boutique Tartar Threads, and it's an opportunity for students that need it to go in and get toiletries and clothes and shoes and different, gently worn, and some even new things that are for students. So doing a great job of really engaging civically and providing a service for students in the community, and being a great example. We want to remind families about our nutrition services meals for the summer, and all that information is on our website. But the seamless summer option for students is there. They can pick up meals at Torrance High School or Carr Elementary, and so we want to encourage families to be able to access those services. And thanks to Nutrition Services Department for continuing to provide that. We are hiring. We're always hiring in various aspects. This one in particular with our ELOP program, we're recruiting. We have an event at Griffith Adult Center on July 29th, really looking to working with the Personnel Commission to get staff out there and hire folks to be able to start our year in the fall. We're expanding the ELOP program to more sites in the coming year, and so we always are hoping that we can get additional staff to work. And then finally, want to highlight 3 of our teachers that were featured on a PBS news program, Inside California Education. Taranay Karim, who's one of our Ed Tech TOSAs, and then North High School teachers, Courtney Tibbles and Lisa Nichols were also part of that. And so it was a show that came out and filmed. I was in the hot seat for quite a while, so must not have been presented well because I was on the cutting room floor. I didn't even get a mention, but the important people did. And these 3 teachers are helping us lead the way with AI. They also had a number of students that were featured, showing how these English teachers at North are utilizing AI in the classroom and being a model for others. So really proud of the work that they're doing. And then we're getting ready to kick off year 2 of our AI cohort with some new teachers and trying some new tools as we continue to learn along with several other districts in the country. So thank you very much. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stowe. Appreciate the update. Are there any comments from my colleagues? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to 8.2, Ethnic Studies Update Presentation. Dr. Egan.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. I appreciate the opportunity to provide the board with an update on implementation of our ethnic studies courses and program. This is just a reminder to the board that we previously shared information about the 2021 law that ethnic studies be implemented as a graduation requirement in all California public high schools. Even though the course offerings must be offered this coming school year, we started in TUSD already thanks to strong teacher contribution in course design these past 2 school years. And actually this past school year in particular. TUSD also received $192,000 in an implementation grant, half of which of the funds we've utilized and half we still have remaining. These will be accounted for in terms of teacher prep and planning, as we've already done for the previous years as we scale and increase the number of course offerings and teachers needed. Next slide. Again, as a reminder to the board, TUSD started the development and implementation process for ethnic studies in the spring of 2023. This past school year, ethnic studies and ethnic lit were both implemented and offered at our high schools. We received strong positive student feedback as well in our concluding surveys. Many of the students stating that the courses were interesting, discussions and topics were engaging and respectful, They learn new topics, increase their individual awareness, and we did a Likert scale as well. The overall rating was a 4.5 out of 5 across all those participated in the survey. Additionally, elective courses have been developed for students who express an interest in further pursuit of ethnic studies. This coming school year, there's enough student interest for a Chicano African American Studies course, as well as a Filipino American Studies course, which will be offered at 2 of our high schools. The current success of the courses can largely be attributed to the student choice factor. Since we've offered the courses prior to being required to do so, the students taking the ethnic studies courses are doing so because of their own personal interest. Across the 4 high schools, we had several hundred students opt in this past school year. These early pioneers of the courses have allowed TUSD teachers to strengthen their practice, and within the next 2 years, the requirement will kick in, and our teachers already have strong competency when it comes to the subject matter, as well as how to best address any challenging classroom conversations with any delicate topics. Some of our next steps over the next 2 years, we plan to continue with teacher training, professional development, and teacher collaboration. The education services team and teachers on special assignment will continue to provide support to teacher teams, and site teams will continue to work in collaboration with one another via their PLC meetings on Tuesday mornings. With a growing need for adding course periods to accommodate the required courses, schools are also identifying new teachers to join their colleagues who are currently teaching ethnic studies courses. We also plan to create venues and forums for teachers to share best practices across schools. In the end, we're confident in our ability to support the necessary growth due to the strong foundation that has been put in place thus far. Thank you, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Egan. I'll open up for comments, discussion.
So I have a comment and kind of a question. So right now, the whole ethnic studies program funding, mandate is no longer in place. It's still in limbo. And so if the mandate is no longer there, what is the direction of our district? Because originally that mandate was associated with the funding. We're not sure the funding is going to be there. So now the question of the mandate is no longer going to be in place. Are we still going to go ahead with this if there is no mandate, or are we going to make it where ethnic studies will be a elective rather than a part of the core initiative classes?
So
Yeah.
at this time, our plan would be to go forward. Obviously pending action and direction from the board to do otherwise. In terms of the courses that we've offered thus far, we do believe we have the room within existing allocation at school sites and the schedule availability within the student schedules to move forward with the courses that we've offered, many of which, in the upper grade levels are elective in nature. And so those would not be required courses. Those would just be additional opportunities for students that have the interest, much like any other elective that we offer. A lot of the challenge is the course development and development of the curriculum, which, we're very fortunate that we've been able to have the opportunity and the wherewithal with teachers who have wanted to contribute to that process and who have done so.
Right. So I appreciate that. So my question, though, goes back to the idea that you're talking about earlier in your presentation, that there are still classes that were not formulated yet, and then we're still going to go ahead and formulate those classes, right? And so my question is that if there's no mandate, what is the reason for us to continue to formulate those classes? Like, should we just leave it as electives rather than, because originally when this thing was given to us, we were trying to embed it into social studies and English, if my memory serves correct, right? We were trying to revamp all of that to be more inclusive of these studies into those subject matters, right? And so now that the mandate is no longer required by, it's limbo in the state of California, right? It just makes me wonder why we're going ahead with that, even though this class has not been formulated yet, even though that was part of the plan because the mandate was there, but the mandate is no longer there. Do we feel the necessity to go and continue to do that? I feel like that's more work for our teachers when we're not even sure that mandate is going to be there any longer. And so, because we did get emails from teachers saying, are we still going to go with this? And so that's why I'm asking the question, because we did receive emails regarding this question. And so it makes sense to me because of the fact that you're asking the teachers to kind of redevelop the whole curriculum when there's no longer a mandate. So I'm just wondering, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, as just to reiterate, the courses are already written and developed. So there's no new course development that needs to occur. It would just be, should the mandate go forward? Should we go forward as a district to fully implement across the grade levels that are expecting to? We would have to onboard new teachers to teach courses that they haven't taught before, that although being the courses have been developed, written, and are currently being taught on a voluntary basis by those teachers for students who are voluntarily opting in. So we're prepared. The mandate doesn't kick in for another year as its current course. And so should there be change, then we can adapt accordingly.
So, but again, so let me just ask you this question then. If there is no mandate, let's just say a year from now, there's no mandate, are we still going to go forward with this? It's a question. This is a question of the direction of the district, right? I think that I'm asking, right? What is the direction of the district, right? Let's say there is no mandate. And so are we going to continue to go ahead with this direction? Just for the clarity for the public.
Well, I would say, you know, one, it's up to the board, right? At
Yeah.
the direction of the board. You know, we've been very thorough in this process, you know, beginning more than 2 years ago. And so and the question that I've heard is from other districts as well, if there's no funding for this, is there a mandate? Is there ed code? Does that invalidate ed code? The ed code still is what it is, in that beginning with in the fall of 2026, we have to offer ethnic studies courses. So to pull the plug on something right now is not a feasible solution. Courses are in, the master schedules are 90% done. But if let's say in the course of the year, ed code changes and we don't need to offer these courses next year, I think we bring that back to the board for discussion. But I believe that the feedback from the students in the survey has been overwhelmingly positive. In fact, you know, they want more of some of these courses. You know, Torrance High is going to offer a Filipino American studies class and North the African American studies class, I believe. And so what we have always said for decades is student interest should drive master schedules. So if there's student interest, then we find a way to meet that interest. And I think at this point in time, the demand's there. Should things change and this become an unfunded mandate, then we would pursue reimbursement from the state at that point in time.
Right, but I think I appreciate that, but I think that as a board, I think that'll be a good idea, regardless whether there's a mandate or not. I think that we should make that kind of decision regarding ethnic studies, right? Personally, as an immigrant person, I think it's a good thing. Diversity perspective, I think is a good thing. I just feel like I think I'll be very encouraged to see where we stand on this issue because of the fact that I think that it's a good thing, and I appreciate that. That's the reason I want to make sure it's clear is that I hope that my personal view is that as a board that we would stick by this even when there's no mandate. I just want to say that publicly that we kind of celebrate this. I'm gonna get a lot of feedback or comments back on that, but I think it's something that is important, especially in this day and age, that we go with this. And so I do appreciate all the hard work. And so I just want to make sure that the public wears it because it's in the news. And so I just want to make sure the public knows that, or at least one of the board members stands on this. And I think I personally think that my fellow board members feel the same way, but I think that it's a good thing going forward. And I think that's why I want people to recognize that, hey, we're going to do this. I think it's perspective wise, it's good for the students. And so we want to celebrate it. So thank you for all your hard work on this.
I'll jump in. I'll say that I support it too. I appreciate the work. I know that we talked a lot about how this program came to fruition. We've had discussions on it. I'm very proud of the work that's been done by this district to get ahead of that mandate and to do it at such a high level. I'm proud of all the students for wanting to engage in this and choosing to get in these because while I'm the grandson of immigrants, I think as Trustee Hahn said, at this moment in time, it is almost more important than ever that we're learning about other cultures and that we're understanding other cultures and that we are looking past how somebody appears either on paper or just based upon what their name and what that means to you, and what someone actually is and what their experience is an incredibly important thing right now. So mandate or no mandate, I'm proud of the work we're doing, and I think it should continue. And if there's kids watching, students watching, keep signing up for the classes. And I hope we expand it into even more cultures.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, no other comments. I'll just say that I think one of my question was about student input, and I think Dr. Stowe, you addressed that because I wanted to find out what are students thinking about this. And if it's a positive response, then I think continue status quo, and we can make it as an option and be elective if that's the road that we choose, regardless if there's a mandate or not. So I think we'll keep moving forward on it. Thank you. Moving on to oral communication, 9.1, Board of Education welcomes input from the public. Speakers wishing to address the board on non-agenda topics have completed the appropriate submission form on the district website prior to 3 p.m. or in-person speaker cards prior to 7 p.m. Time allotted for public comments on non-agenda items is limited to 3 minutes per comment and for a total of 30 minutes. A speaker may not relinquish her time to another. I have 2 yellow cards. First person is Wendy Riley, and then the second person is Ann Milbank. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening to members of the board. My name is Wendy Riley, and I stand here not just as a substitute teacher for Torrance Unified, but as someone who cares deeply about the future of this district, about the students, the teachers, and the schools that hold our community together. But I need to be honest with you. Right now, substitute teachers in this district are struggling to stay afloat, struggling to maintain our own self-respect, and struggling to continue in a field we love, as we are shown in so many ways that we are undervalued. It's been nearly 4 years since October 2021 that substitute teachers in this district have gone without a raise. In that time, the price of gas, groceries, rent, everything has gone up. But our pay, it has stayed the same. Many of us are earning less in real terms now than we did before the pandemic. My children and I have had to learn to compromise and make do without so many things. However, I never walk into a Torrance campus compromising my efforts or my students' needs. I bring my best every time I am on assignment, and I believe it shows by the feedback from teachers, staff, and students alike. Every day we walk into unfamiliar classrooms, often with little notice, little guidance, and always with little pay. And we manage behavior, deliver lessons, comfort anxious students, and keep learning going, sometimes under impossible circumstances. I'm sure you remember the stigma attached to, woo, we have a sub today. Okay, it has been nearly 4 years since October 2021 that substitute teachers in this district have gone without a raise, despite the essential work we do. In that same period, full-time teachers have received at least 2 documented raises, with a third one in the works right now, an additional increase in wages through step or column movements. Research shows that students spend up to 30% of their total K-12 time with a substitute teacher. That is not a footnote. That is nearly 1/3 of their classroom experience with us so-called substitutes. But we are not substituting effort. We are not substituting care. We bring our whole hearts into these classrooms every single day. We don't do this work to get rich. We do it because we care about these kids, these schools, and this district. But care doesn't pay the bills, and no one can pour from an empty cup. Other districts like LAUSD have recognized that substitutes deserve better. They've raised pay, and they've allowed the substitutes to join the union, so they have a voice and protection every educator deserves. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking to be paid fairly for the critical work we do. Daily rates for surrounding districts: LAUSD, $261 daily. Long Beach Unified, $217. Hawthorne Unified, $225 a day. Compton Unified, $200 a day. Compare those to what Torrance substitutes are paid, $175 a day. This difference speaks volumes. So tonight, I respectfully urge this board to do two things.
Time, sorry.
Sorry, raise our pay and let us in the union. Thank you so much for your time, you guys. Happy summer.
Yeah.
So, my name is Ann Milbank. I'm a member of Local 99, and I've probably worked for Torrance Unified for 32 years now. I'm also a TUSD alumni, and I graduated from Torrance High School. I'm currently working at Carr Elementary for the summer program. For the past several years, I've been
Can you
active
lower your
role as a
mic?
shop, excuse me, a shop
Thank you.
steward. Is that better? Excuse me. And a member of the bargaining team. A satellite operator. I'm in charge of overseeing the food service operations at Torrance Elementary. Where myself and coworkers feed hundreds of students daily, breakfast and lunch daily. I take pride in showing up every day, serving our kids with a smile and do my part to better their school experience. Where food service workers are essential, as we all know, the importance and value of our students receiving nutritious meals. After 30 years of service, I received our certificate and a pin. And then I have my 20 years back in 2013. So we're just asking that you add a 25-year longevity pay. As other unions have rewarded their members, we're asking for respect and recognition and to thank us for our long service. Also that Torrance, we should do better for our workers who have stayed and helped build this district, recognize our dedication with more than words or a pin, demonstrate to the community that and students that commitments matters, respect our time, respect our work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ann. Okay, next, we'll be moving on to agenda item 10.1. These are speakers wishing to address the board on agenda topics that are permitted. 3 minutes per topic. Total time granted for public input shall be limited to 30 minutes per topic. Board policies require that public presentations to the board comply with certain procedures, including items listed in oral communications. Do we have anyone online? No one. I have received one card, but that's for item 18.3, so I'll call that up when we get there. 10.2, call for nominations for membership to Los Angeles County Committee on School District Organization. This item, if we wish to make any nominations, I'm seeing none. We'll move on to the next item.
Actually, I have a quick question.
Yes.
I have no nominations for this membership to Los Angeles County, but I was wondering in the memo that's attached to the agenda, it says that our TUSD here is part of the 4th supervisory district, which we know already, but it also said Torrance is also listed under the 2nd supervisory district. Can you clarify that for me?
Don't ask.
What?
So Martha Deutsch is the representative for the district in the 2nd district, but not the, oh, she's in the 4th. Oh, Martha's the 4th. But we're also in the 2nd, like, it might just be something with the way the maps are drawn, and I don't know why there's overlap, but we've only nominated someone for the 4th and not the 2nd.
I see. I think Redondo Beach, I think, was listed over there too,
Maybe.
as overlapping over the 2 districts, right? And we'll just stick with supervisory district 4. I think
Correct.
that would make things simpler.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on 10.2? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to 10.3. Appoint one new member and reappoint one member to the Independent Citizens Oversight Committee. Dr. Butler.
Thank you very much. We're joined here this evening by the 2 individuals who would like to be part of the Independent Citizens Oversight Committee going forward. As you know, this group does excellent work in making sure that our bond funds are being spent for the purposes that voters intended when they voted for the bonds. Ann Baumgart has been serving for, oh my gosh, at least 12 years, yeah? Okay. long time, for that, and for some reason would like to continue, of which I am so appreciative. So thank you very much. And so her term originally would be expiring in August of 2025, and she has asked that she be continued on the committee, and we would, from my perspective, gratefully accept that. And it's up for the board to decide in a minute. And Dylan Wakayama is actually a lifelong resident of Torrance, Torrance Unified graduate, and is interested in serving on the committee as well. Recent graduate of UCSB in Santa Barbara. So with the board approval, we would welcome Dylan to his first Independent Citizens Oversight Committee as a member going forward, and have Ange rejoin us.
Great.
Any discussion?
Motion to approve, but if I can make a comment?
Please.
This is awesome. Thank you, both of you, for willing to do this for 12 years. And it's awesome that a young guy like you will be doing it for the first time. So it's a wonderful thing. So thank you to both of us. So motion to approve both of them.
Second on all things.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you for your continued service. Welcome. Moving on, we'll go on to 10.4, rescind employment agreement for the Deputy Superintendent / Chief Business Officer and approve employment agreement for Deputy Superintendent for the Torrance Unified School District. I believe there's a little formal readout that I have to do with that. Okay, here we go. Government Code Section 54953C3 requires that the board shall an oral summary of an employment agreement with cabinet level employee, including compensation, benefits, and open session during regular board meeting for the board to take action and approve the employment agreement. The oral summary is to be read in open session and prior to the board taking final action to rescind the Chief Business Officer, Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement approved on May 19, 2025, and approve the Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement. And let's see here. Okay, so here's the actual script that I have to read all the way through. Okay. The item addresses the board's open session discussion and possible rescinding of the Chief Business Officer, Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement with Keith Butler, adopted on May 19, 2025, and the possible approval of replacing it with the Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement with Keith Butler regarding his employment as Deputy Superintendent. The purpose of this rescission and adopting of the new contract is to clarify the job title only as Deputy Superintendent, to make the job position clearer. The material terms of the contracts are the same, specifically including Deputy Superintendent will serve from July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. During the term of this agreement, the district shall pay the Deputy Superintendent $288,353 per fiscal year. The Deputy Superintendent will be entitled to an annual stipend of his earned doctoral stipend in the same amount as provided to all 12-month district management employees. The Deputy Superintendent will receive the same district family, medical, dental, and vision coverage equivalent to district management employees. Deputy Superintendent will be eligible for district business expenses. Deputy Superintendent will earn 2 days of vacation per full month of paid services, sick leave, and to have membership dues to organizations related to his performance as a Deputy Superintendent paid for by the district. Again, these terms are the same as were included in the previously approved employment agreement. This concludes the summary of the terms of the Deputy Superintendent's employment agreement. Is there a motion and a second to rescind the Chief Business Officer Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement approved on May 19, 2025 and approve the Deputy Superintendent Employment Agreement?
I enthusiastically approve this motion.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Are there any discussions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. We are now moving on to the consent agenda. And we're going from items 12.1 all the way down to, just make sure I get this right. 18.3 is the last one. but I will be pulling 18.3 because there is a public comment on that. Is there anyone else that wish to pull any items? Okay, seeing none, well, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent calendar with the exception of 18.3.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 18.3, I'll call upon Amy Irwin.
Good evening, everyone. Our TTA's initial proposal reflects our commitment to ensure that every student in our district gets a top-notch education and that the educators who make this happen are a top priority. Our proposal supports those qualities found in Portrait of a Graduate, such as communication and collaboration, leadership and character, and civic engagement. Tonight, the sun shining marks the beginning of this next bargain, and we look forward to engaging with your team in a productive and respectful manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any discussions, or if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 18.3. Oh, okay.
It was an information item. That's correct. Thank you so much for that clarity. All right, comments from members of the board. 19.1, Trustee Lou.
You want me to go first? Laxta. I don't have a report for Laxta today.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go 19.2, SoCal Rock. Trustee Lou.
SoCal Rock on summer vacation, so nothing to report as well.
Easy. Look at that. All right, 19.3, other general comments. We'll start from Trustee Hahn.
So again, I want to thank everyone for coming today. Hope everyone's having a great summer. We want to welcome to our new cabinet members today. So we're welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed your first meeting. It was great spending time with you today, in our closed session and our training today. So it was a really great opportunity for us to get to know you, all of you. So we really do appreciate that. If I can ask, one of the things I have to ask our cabinet or to start considering is that if we could propose a letter to the federal government asking them to not freeze the money, to release the funds. I'm not sure we have taken an action on that as a district, but to at least plead that that these funds be released for our schools. We know that we're going to be impacted by this. And I know we're doing all that we can to minimize the impact of it, but I think that'll be important for us that at least the federal government hears from us, at least as a district, a formal letter saying that, hey, it's important for us to receive these funds. These funds were promised us. We made plans based upon these funds, and it will be kind of detrimental if we do not get these funds. And so I think that it would be appropriate for our at least for our board to at least write a letter stating that our desire to have these funds released. So if I can make that kind of motion or plea, or if we have not, it will be greatly appreciated going forward. And so we would like to see that happen. But I hope that everyone's having a great summer. And so thank you.
Well, Trustee Hahn, Trustee Ziggleball. Just going random.
Scattershot, okay. Just happy summer to everybody. Thank you for all the work you've done this year. To the new cabinet members, welcome. It's nice spending time with you. And if there's anything I can do to help with your transition, even though I'm still relatively new, I'm happy to do so. And I'm always here. To everybody else, have a great summer.
Thank you so much, Trustee Lou.
Yes, hi. I also want to welcome Deanna and Rosa very much. Thank you for joining our family here in TUSD. And Sandy too. Yes, of course. Thank you for taking over for Gilmore. We love Gilmore there. Anyway, another point I want to say is that, as many people know, mental health has always been a top priority for me. I want to note that in the consent agenda today, we passed very many mental health and counseling services contracts for this coming school year. And I'm very proud to be able to point this out and that our school district continues to do what it can to support the well-beings of our students. And then, as always, I will be listing off and celebrating the anniversaries of some of our classified employees who have special anniversaries. For our 10-year anniversary, we have Rebecca Carino from Material Support Department. For our 15 years, we have Christina Calandrino from Hickory Elementary School. For 20 years, we have Jessica Benveniste from South High School, Irina Mitchell from Madrona Middle School, Mudita Matal from Seaside Elementary School, Miguel Moreno from Yukon Elementary School, Alexia Saunders from Calle Mayor Middle School. And for our 25th year anniversary, we have, let me get to that page, Sheila Stanford from Hull Middle School. Thank you all very much for your loyalty and your public service to our school district.
Thank you very much, Trustee Liu. Trustee Park.
I also counted the number of mental health resources and agreements that we had on our agenda. There were 16, so it's quite a lot. And so hope that that our students and our families are able to find the resources that they need, and that there's good externalization of these resources and agreements as the year continues or during the summer as well, so that they are being utilized as needed. Also wanted to comment on the ethnic studies update. I had the opportunity, I mentioned this before, to speak at West High School to the ethnic literature students, and it was such a wonderful experience to be able to share a bit about my experiences, but also just hear, I think reflected in our discussion and in their questions was everything that they were learning, and it's so core to what our district wants as global citizens who want to make an impact in the world, who are thoughtful, who care about not just about valuing diverse perspectives and honoring cultural heritage. And so so I just have a wonderful warm feeling when I think about that experience. So I'm really excited that we are continuing to invest in making sure that more students can have those opportunities to learn and from one another and from the curriculum. And then also just wanted to finally congratulate again Ms. Kareem Tibbles and Nichols for the feature, and Dr. Stowe as well. I'm sure that there's a B-roll somewhere that's going to be great for our district's leadership in AI use in classrooms. And I think working all day on generative AI at Google, I think that I'm so much more focused on the risks and the scary parts of these tools, but it's really nice to, in my role as a school board member, to take myself out of that and be able to think of all of the transformative impact that these tools can have when there is good training, when people understand how to make sure that the tools are fitting the needs that already exist, instead of just trying to do it for the sake of doing it. And so I think the thoughtful way that our district is engaging is truly setting an example for other districts. So just wanted to, and for all of the other teachers and staff who are involved in those efforts as well, just wanted to give another shout out.
Thank you so much. And I'll just close by saying that earlier today we held a workshop and with members of cabinet and my colleagues here, and it was a lot of good information, a lot of conversations about vision and direction of where the school district is going. And so I know there's a lot more trainings that are scheduled for the next few days with a lot of folks. So while we are well into the summer, the team is working very hard to plan for the upcoming year and for years ahead. So thank you for all your good work and just moving forward and helping the district move forward. So with that, we'll move on to agenda item 20.1, adjournment in memory of retired teacher Susan Walsh, and I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.